on this. I do too. How did Tashfeen Malik slick the State Department and Homeland Security and get a visa into the United States with all her jihadist plans? Today, the House Oversight Committee grilling the State Department and Homeland Security for not looking at the social media of people coming into the United States.
The immigration screening process is a critical element in protecting the American people. You got to lock down that border. You got to get rid of the people who are here committing crimes, for goodness sake. They're here legally committing crimes, and you all release them back out in the public. Some 60+ thousand times you did that. These are the criminal element. Don't tell me about the nice, lady who's just trying to help her family. These are people committing crimes, get caught, they get convicted, they're in your hands, and Homeland Security says, no, go back out into the community.
What is the number on that internal document that you've seen?
It's less than
What's the number? Now, you've got a 2-inch binder there. It has all kinds of research. In fact, it's got our pictures and our bios, so you've done good research. So you knew I was going to ask this question, I assume.
Of the revoked visas, do you give those to the Department of Homeland Security?
Exactly. We revoked the visa, and the information is...
So Homeland Security, how many revoked visas are still in the United States of America?
Mr. Chairman, I don't have that.
You don't have a clue, do you?
I think we have a very, very strong, robust vetting process for...
Mr. Rodriguez and Mr. Burson just said that this is an evolving threat, and they're changing the way that they do business. Have you changed the way that you've vetted in the last 6 months? Aren't we going to learn something about the fiancé visa process and apply it to the refugee process? Are you looking at social media?
That I have to defer to Leon Rodriguez on.
She couldn't even tell me if more people come in by land, by sea, or by air. She thinks most people come into this country by air. And she's in charge of screening. You can see why we're scared to death that this administration, the Department of Homeland Security, the State Department, is not protecting the American people.
Chairman of the Oversight Committee, Utah Congressman Jason Chaffetz is here to go on the record. Good evening, Mr. Chairman.
Hey, Greta.
The FBI Director Comey said that Tashfeen Malik didn't use social media. She used private online messages. But putting that aside for a second, why aren't they looking at social media for those coming into the United States when everyone agrees that ISIS uses social media for recruiting?
Homeland Security is about 10 years behind the times. It really does scare me because the one thing that you see, no matter what country you go to, whether it's the Maasai or you're going into North Africa, it doesn't matter. You're going to see mobile phones. Social media is the way they communicate, and our State Department, our Homeland Security, they have a pilot program. It's a pilot program. We're about to turn the corner into 2016. They're not even looking at
this. What is their aversion to doing it? I mean, if it's privacy, it's so absurd because you put things on the internet, you really do sort of abandon your right to privacy. You don't have reasonable expectation of privacy. You put it out there for people to see.
A lot of the radicalization is happening online through these public sites. And so when somebody wants the privilege of coming to the United States of America here on a visa or on a visa waiver program, it's reasonable that we go ahead and look at what they're doing online.
Why won't they?
We have absolutely, the hearing went for 4.5 hours.
And you don't know?
And we don't know. The Democrats were equally as baffled as to why somebody's asking the privilege to come to the United States of America, and we don't even do the most basic things.
All right, one of the questions you asked are the number of people here in the United States, they have revoked visas.
Yes.
And you don't know, nobody knows how many or where they are?
About 122,000 over the last 10 years or so, roughly. 9,500 were revoked by the State Department because of terrorist ties.
And where are those 9,500?
I asked them that. I said, can you identify them? Where are they? They haven't a clue, Greta. And this is where we should be focusing our law enforcement effort. I mean, think about it. They have a visa from the State Department. State Department says, oh, we better revoke that because of terrorist ties. But they don't go get them. They don't send out a dragnet and deport these people. 66,000 times we had people that were here illegally, had committed crimes, had been convicted of those crimes, and they just released them. They didn't deport them.
Yeah, there's one part where I heard the testimony said that we have strong, robust vetting. And not only does that, I feel the same way you do, but the State Department, a day or two after San Bernardino said that the woman who came in, one of the killers, I think the word they used was she had a rigorous screening, and it turns out she had a phony address on her. It's like, it's really lying to the American people.
You know what most of this that happens is on the telephone. We had last year 51,000 people step foot in the United States, claim asylum, and there are 40 people at Homeland Security. They have 250,000 employees. Only 40 of them actually vet those 50,000, and most of them do it on the telephone. There's no way, and they're not looking at their social media. So it's pretty scary.
There are an awful lot of good people who also come to this country, but I do want to know from the viewers at home, I want them to vote. Should it be tougher for foreigners to get into the United States? Tweet yes or no using hashtag Greta. And we're going to show you live Twitter votes throughout the show. Mr. Chairman, what was the most shocking thing you heard today?
They don't know. They really don't know. And there are.
Do they at least feel bad about knowing, or do they realize it's really bad that they don't know?
The person who is in charge of policy, the person who's in charge of screening, when we asked those two different people, do you get more people coming into the United States by air, land, or sea? And they couldn't even answer that question. They had 3 choices and they couldn't get it right. Let alone going and weeding out the terrorists, weeding out the bad apples, weeding out the people who have nefarious intent. I seriously, what? And these poor ICE officers, right? And the Border Patrol. They go, they capture them, they've maybe committed a crime, a sexual assault, they get them convicted, and then Homeland Security doesn't deport them. They put them back out into our own communities. I think that's a pretty good indicator that this might be somebody who will step it up and do terrorist type of activities in this country.
Congressman, nice to see you.
Thank you.
And the ISIS capital is immense.